Have you ever heard someone say, history repeats itself? This comes up quite frequently when researching Christopher Nolan movies.
Are you watching closely?
They're oddly heavy. You almost have to take a day to let them sink in before you can move on to the next film. But why is that? What makes them so unique? We will be using Studio Binder's production software to illustrate how Christopher Nolan approaches filmmaking. Everything comes back full circle.
And here we go.
Subscribe to our channel below and click the bell icon for new videos. What makes Nolan films so unique is that he disguises many clues inside an important cinematic device, motifs. A motif is a repeated pattern used to support the theme of a film, like the totems in Inception that represent reality.
So a totem, you need a small object, potentially heavy, something you can have on you all the time.
Or the various symbols of duplicity in The Prestige.
Don't forget your hat.
Well, which one is mine?
They're all your hats, Mr. Angier.
These items may seem symbolic, but Nolan takes it a step further. He doesn't merely use motifs to support a theme. What he actually does is dangle the clue right in front of your face.
Look closer.
The effect is that it both intrigues and confuses the viewer. And he does this by presenting information with a veiled context.
And I planted an idea. A simple little idea that would change everything.
Critical clues that Nolan peppers in at optimal moments.
Why, how does he do it?
He uses a double.
No. It's too simple. This is a complex illusion.
He spreads them out enough to disguise the revelation.
My brother.
And the second, third, and fourth time you watch his films, you pick up some new detail along the way.
I love you.
Well, some days it's not true, and today you don't mean it. Maybe today you're more in love with magic than me.
Like this scene in Insomnia.
Clear cause of death was herniation of the brainstem due to intracerebral hemorrhage.
Beaten to death.
The protagonist, Detective Dormer, inspects a murdered girl's body. When Dormer finishes the inspection, he says,
"He crossed the line, and he didn't even blink."
Why is this moment so important? Dormer takes off his rubber gloves and describes someone who crossed the line and never came back.
You don't come back from that.
The opening credits show fibers drenched in blood. It drips until we see an unknown person wearing latex gloves. It's not until the end of the film that we come full circle and realize the man who crossed the line was Dormer himself. And those hands in the gloves at the beginning of the film were Dormer's. This is just one example, but Nolan frequently layers clues like motifs, flashbacks, and key inserts throughout his narratives.
It's not Morse, Murph, it's binary. Thick is 1, thin is 0.
Coordinates.
But how can you do this with your own script? It starts with your script breakdown. A script breakdown is where you go through each scene in your script and identify key elements such as props, wardrobe, set dressing, anything really. These elements are prime opportunities to define motifs, symbols, and, as Nolan often does, dangle plot points.
John Edward Campbell. This guy told me his name was Teddy.
When Nolan went through his script in Insomnia, he knew the gloves were not only a requirement for the scene, but also a clue. All he needed to do was tag the prop, embed an image or video in the scene notes so that he could communicate his plan with his team. If you want to learn more about motif in film, check out our other video on visual motifs of Americana in Silence of the Lambs. Christopher Nolan admits that when he writes a film, he makes sure to write in the same order that it will play on screen.
I approach the structure from a very mathematical and geometrical point of view. A lot of diagrams, a lot of careful planning. But then you sit down and you write the script the way the audience is going to be receiving that information. The hope is that in that way, you're actually creating a cohesive and an organic rhythm and story movement.
Dream within a dream, huh? I'm impressed.
And so the structure I settled on is based on a musical structure called the shepherd tone, which is a musical illusion whereby you can keep climbing up the scale, but you never seem to go out of reach, if you like. And I wanted to try and apply that to screenwriting.
No!
If you were to graph out a diagram that illustrates the structure of a Nolan film, it would look something like this.
Best way to draw it is as a hairpin. That's basically the end of the movie.
I've seen one before, many, many years ago.
And this reveals one of the main devices he uses in his storytelling: bookending. This is where a beginning and end share something identical. It can be dialogue.
Are you watching closely?
Are you watching closely?
Props.
Time will run differently for us?
Yeah.
Nobody believed me, but I knew you'd come back.
Color schemes.
It's just an anonymous room. There's nothing in the drawers. Let you look anyway. Nothing except the Gideon Bible.
Or an entire scene.
Don't you want to know who he was?
I know exactly who he was. He was the Batman.
No one's ever gonna know who saved an entire city.
They know. It was the Batman.
Everything comes back, full circle. Remember, history repeats itself. What else does Christopher Nolan do so well as a filmmaker? Tell us in the comments.
This is what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Check the description to sign up for Studio Binder. It's free to get started. Write as many scripts as you like. No limits. Then watch your script synchronize across all of your Studio Binder pre-production features to form script breakdowns, shot lists, storyboards, schedules, call sheets, and more. And collaborate on all of it every step of the way. Subscribe to our channel below. Click the bell icon for notifications. We've come full circle. Did history repeat itself?
Are you watching closely?